I'm waiting for Dolomite.
For who? Dolomite, motherfucker, you heard her. Way down in the jungle deep, the lion stepped on the signifying monkey's feet. The monkey said, motherfucker, can't you see? You're standing on my goddamn feet. The monkey lived in the jungle in an old oak tree. Bulls shitting the lion every day in the week. Every day before the sun go down, that lion would kick his ass all through the jungle top. But the monkey got wise and started using his wit. Started saying, I'm gonna put a stop to this old ass-kicking shit. So he ran up on the lion the very next day. He said, oh, Mr. Lion, there's a big bad motherfucker coming your way. And he's somebody that you don't know. He just broke a loose from Ringling Brothers show. Said he talked about your people in a hell of a way. He talked about your people till my hair turned gray. So Mr. Lion, you know that ain't right. So whenever you run up on the elephant, I want you to be ready to fight. The lion jumped up in a hell of a rage, like a young man smoking some game. He ran up on the elephant talking to the swine. He said, all right, you big bad motherfucker, it's gonna be your ass or mine. The lion jumped up and made a fancy pass, but the elephant sidestepped him and knocked him dead on his ass. He fucked up his jaw, messed up his face, broke all four legs and knocked his ass out of place. They fought all night and all the next day. Somehow the little lion managed to get away. He drug his ass back to the jungle more dead and alive, just to run into that little monkey and some more of his signifying jive. The little monkey said, look here, partner, you don't look so swell. Look like to me you caught a whole lot of hell. Said your eyes is red and your ass is blue. Said I knew in the first place it wasn't shit to you. Said I told my wife before you left I shoulda whooped your ass my motherfucking self. Shut up. Don't you roar, cause I'll jump out of this tree and whoop your dog ass some more. And don't look up here with your sucker paw case, cause I'll piss through the bark of this tree in your motherfucking face. The little monkey got happy and started jumping up in his down. His feet missed the limb and his ass hit the ground. Like a ball of lightning and a streak of white heat, that lion was on his ass with all 4 feet. Dust rose and tears came in the little monkey's eyes. Nothing he could see and nothing he could hear, but he knew that was the end of his bullshit and signifying career. And signifying career.
How can you make that statement?
I just did. And I'll tell you why.
Well, I don't even need to talk to you about it.
Listen, it's not about Republicans.
It's ridiculous. This country was far better off before George Bush than it is after George Bush. Want me to quote you the 9/11 Commission report? For an entire decade, I'm glad I can make you laugh. You
for
can.
An entire
when you
decade,
bring up the 9/11 Commission, that makes me laugh.
For an entire,
because they didn't investigate nothing.
Well, I agree, and to one extent you're partially right, but they did get one thing right, that there were a group of radicals that were at war with the United States, and we weren't at war with them. We saw the first Trade Center bombing, the embassy bombings, the USS Cole, and we have radicals that think God is going to reward them in heaven with virgins, Jesse. How do you stop them?
Well,
what do you do? Tell me what you do.
You pay attention to memos on August 6th that tell you exactly what bin Laden's going to do. Instead, we hear Condoleezza Rice going, I didn't know what they were going to do. And The memo says bin Laden set to hijack planes and ram them into buildings.
I have a better idea.
And your buddy, George Bush, he was on vacation in Crawford at the time. Did you know he took over 900 days of vacation?
No, president's never off. The president's never. Do you know that? Let me give you an example.
This one was, he wasn't on his watch because the biggest attack in history happened on his watch.
I wrote about this in my first book. I'll give you a copy before you leave here. Bill Clinton was offered Osama bin Laden on a silver platter by the Sudan, and we passed on him 5 times. So I don't want to hear lectures about George Bush and bin Laden. He did keep us safe. He did put us on a war foot. And let me finish this.
And let's see. George Bush was bailed out of one of his bad business deals by Salem bin Laden, Osama's brother. You don't think there's a connection there? Come on.
Let me ask you this. Do you not think the quadrupling of our national debt, which in 1 year, one year, would you do that if you were president?
No, I don't know. No, because I was talking about the deficit before the election. And you notice that term never came up.
I agree.
Through the entire John McCain, Osama bin Laden election, nobody would touch the deficit with a 10-foot pole. Do you know who first brought up the deficit? Ross Perot.
It's true.
That's right. True. And so don't come at me that all the Republicans do. They spend like Democrats, only they charge it. At least the Democrats go cash and carry. The Republicans do the same thing and charge it. I will tell you this,
though, but 1 year to quadruple the deficit, to have the CBO tell us that in 10 years, let me finish. Well, kids and grandkids, but in 10 years we're going to quadruple. And no, that's not true. No, this deficit is Obama's deficit. This is Obama's spending. Obama did it in 1 year.
To fix George Bush's mess.
You just hate Bush so much you can't see straight.
No,
you can't see straight.
You can't see straight.
He's not the president.
Because you're so conservative.
I'm a conservative.
All you do is back the conservatives no matter what they do.
Wrong.
Because I need to pound it home to people to have them realize Barack Obama inherited this mess. Republicans had the Congress for 6 years, and they had the presidency.
Now it's Obama's mess, and Obama quadrupled the deficit in 1 year, and we'll see what happens to our kids and grandkids.
Okay, well, George Bush had a bailout too, didn't he? And you know what's interesting?
Are you ever going to run for office? I don't care what you say about
Republicans voted for it when it was George Bush's bailout, but they wouldn't vote for it when it was Obama's. That's politics at its worst. That's putting your party before the country.
I am a Reagan conservative. I'm a
Goldwater conservative.
Well, I'm a Reagan conservative. We just disagree on social issues on many things. Reagan gave us the longest period of peacetime economic growth. He ended the Cold War, and he took on evil in his time, and I love him for it.